Ontology, the science of existence. Being able to know what is real and what is a dream.
That is such a beautiful dream.
I think I prefer real. All right, okay, so of course we're not actually talking about an ontological debate today. Today we are talking ontology. So welcome to your Simplified Coin Review. So we are now branding our coin reviews. This is our first one under this name. And what we're wanting to do at this channel is we're wanting to make what's complicated and make it simple so you can actually understand what you're investing in. Because, right, we're all in crypto for the gains. I mean, the people who tell you, like, I'm here for the tech, this is what they remind me of. Yes, the tech is incredible, but we all want to make money. But you want to know what you're investing in. So that's why we're going to be doing these coin reviews. We're going to be showing you what's good, what's bad about these coins, and we're going to be doing it in a way so you actually walk away from this video understanding what the coin is about. So today, like I mentioned, we are doing ontology. This is not an ontological debate. We are talking cryptocurrency. All right, so very first thing, let's go to CoinMarketCap. Let's pull up ontology. Let's take a look at it. So right now, ontology, it's had quite a charge here recently. It is coming in at number 22. Let's go ahead and click on it and dive a little bit deeper. All right, so ontology right now is trading at $4.48 for the US dollar. It is at 58,365 Satoshis. Bitcoin today has had quite a charge, but you may be watching this video down the road, and that's why it has dropped in Satoshis, but actually increased a little bit in US dollars. So the total supply of ontology is 1 billion ontology coins. The circulating supply right now is 241 million. The market cap is coming in a shade over $1 billion. So ontology is a fairly new coin. Neo did a airdrop where they dropped ontology to people who had Neo in their wallets. And so you can see CoinMarketCap only goes back to March 10th. So we don't have that much data to work with. But one thing you can see is that in spite of Bitcoin being down for the entire month of March, it is actually increased in value. So that's always a good sign when something can run counter to Bitcoin. And so you may be asking yourself the question, okay, well, why did Neo airdrop ontology? So an airdrop, if you don't know what that is, that's basically where a coin provides coins to its community. And Neo and ontology are very closely related, but they are not the same. So they're both Chinese companies. Ontology is ran by OnChain. That is the name of the company that supports them. So Da Hongfei is the founder of Neo, a blockchain platform for distributed apps. We know what Neo is. And he is also the founder and CEO of OnChain, a blockchain development company for enterprise and institutions. So both of them are in China, and Da Hongfei is pretty well known in China, and he really he wants blockchain to become adopted in China and, of course, all around the world. So a lot of people get confused and think because the co-founder of Neo is the same as the CEO of OnChain and is still involved in Neo to an extent, why are they not the same company? So they have this quote where Dong Hongfei said in a YouTube interview, man, I tell you what, I really hate this share thing over here. Let me see if I can get rid of it. First, I need to clarify that Neo and OnChain are separate entities, so OnChain doesn't own Neo or Neo OnChain. They're separately funded. Neo is funded by the community, and OnChain is funded by a very famous financial group in China, Fosun. They bought a lot of insurance companies and banks in Europe, so they are separate. Second, OnChain benefits from the Neo ecosystem. The product, called DNA, is very similar to Neo, but is written in the Go language. OnChain is helping other blockchains and financial institutions to build their blockchains with DNA. It's basically very similar to Neo, and in the future with Neo X, which is a cross-chain protocol, everything can be linked together. So I think it's super important to understand how Neo and Ontology work together, because in the future, the plan is for them to be a cross-implementation strategy to have blockchain adopted all across the world. Okay, so that was a mouthful. Let me break that down for you. NEO is a smart economy. Okay, so basically it is a community of vendors, suppliers, product owners, and product purchasers. So NEO seeks to take digital to take assets across the world and make them digital, right? So basically, here's a good for instance. So we talked yesterday in our video about VeChain and what VeChain wants to do. VeChain wants to make it so that products, fashion, high stylish items like Gucci bags will have a chip inside of them, okay? And that chip will track that bag everywhere, and that's how an owner can know if it's authentic because that chip is matched to the blockchain. So what NEO is trying to do, it is trying to make it so that every item, every product in the world can be attached to a blockchain. So you know it's authentic and you know who the maker of this was. Think about it like this. So you might be sitting there, saying like, well, I don't need my keychain that I bought at Walmart to be on the blockchain. Okay, I understand that. But what if there was a recall with that keychain and somehow that keychain had some kind of metal in it that was tainted and poisonous, and your child got a hold of it and ate that and got seriously injured and got poisoned and had to go to the hospital? Like, you'd be pretty pissed, right? Like, you'd be pretty mad. You would be pretty upset, and you would want to know who made that product. And not just who made it, what specific distribution center it came from. You would want to know, who was the person that checked it to make sure that it was okay. And with blockchain, you can do all of that. It simplifies everything that we do in the world so that you can pinpoint with deadly accuracy every stage a product goes through. Think about it like this. Think about your oranges that you buy at your grocery store. You want to know where they came from. You want to know what state they came from. You want to know, what kind of pesticides were used on them, if any. And so with blockchain, all these things are going to be possible. And so that's what NEO is trying to do. It's trying to take everything and put it on the blockchain. Okay, so I think this is great. So where does Ontology come in? So Ontology is a trust network. Okay, so Ontology, kind of like we talked about Ravencoin, it's similar in terms of it's a trust network. It passes statements of truth along the blockchain to people or to different apps or to different applications. So that way while NEO is the economy, right? NEO is the economy. NEO is the distributor. NEO is the producer. NEO is your channel that you buy it through. So like Walmart in my example with the keychain, it's the product itself. But how do each one of these pieces of the blockchain, okay, how does each piece of the community know that the information that they're getting is real? That's where Ontology comes in. It's the trust network. So it is just immediately, by looking at the information on that blockchain where all the timeline that the item or the product was passed along. Okay, where it came from. So Ontology works with NEO. You can kind of think of it almost like this. It's not quite the same, but almost like this. The town you live in is your community. Any of the stores you go through, that's your economy. Okay, now the Ontology in this, that would be NEO, but the Ontology in this situation would be the credit card processing. Okay, because you have to go use your credit card. So it's the payment systems and the credit card processing. So Walmart knows that when you put your card in the machine and you put your PIN number in or whatever it may be, you sign, and that's how Walmart knows that even though you haven't physically given them any money, that you are good, that you have actually purchased that product, and then you are provided with a receipt to show. So the receipt, the money, the PIN, the payment processing, that's the honesty. That's the trust network, if you will. Because think about it. How does Walmart know when you put money into a machine? They're not the one that processes the payment. That's where your credit card comes in. So that's a little bit of an understanding about kind of how NEO works and Ontology works with it. So here is a chart of the of the Ontology network, the trust ecosystem, if you will. So I think for most people, for people like you and people like me that are not, I am not a coder. I build websites. I can do some coding, but I'm not the kind of coding it takes. I don't know the kind of coding it takes to do blockchain technology. So I think when we look at this chart here, you look at the cross-chain entity mapping, the cross-chain data transfer, which is the Ontology network chains, the modules and protocols, and that's a little probably above our heads. I don't even really know what that means. And maybe you do, maybe you're super techie, but for most people investing in crypto, I can tell you this. If only people who understood that invested in crypto, we are not going anywhere. That's a guarantee. So when you look at these applications, the application level here, this is where you kind of can start to understand what's going on. Think about applications on your phone. You have phone apps. Well, businesses have apps as well. So they have applications that, like a POS system, for instance, a cash register, their network of how they take payments at their store. That would be one application. Another application would be like their supply chain. That would be, how many, their ledger of how many products they have in stock, things like that. So then you go up another level and you have people, wealth, things, and organizations. Those are the users. That's like the user level that are using those applications, that are using the back-end coding on the bottom that we looked at. And then scenarios. You can look at this as like what we would call use cases, or that sounds even a little too technical for me. I just call it real world application. This is the real world application of what this coin is going to do. Verification of people, reputation evaluation, like almost like a credit check, community management, data collaboration and exchange, verification of objects, which is what we talked about with the keychain, financial services, the payment processing, equity management, content generation and trade, procedure management. So these are things that Ontology is actually going to be used for. So what does this mean for crypto going forward? What does this mean for blockchain? It's huge for adoption, because what Ontology is trying to do is it is trying to make the barrier to entry to blockchain technology easier, okay? Like think about the iPhone, okay? The iPhone is very simple to use. It may be a little complicated the first day you have it, but you figure it out pretty easily. And the good thing about the iPhone is that it's stable. It's always the same. Your apps work the same. Some things change, but the way you use the phone almost never changes. And if it does, it's only slight. So for your grandma who just got an iPhone and doesn't really know how to use it, the complicated nature of it is a barrier to her entry. But all it takes is, you being the good grandson or granddaughter that you are and going and showing her how to use it, and she can get a handle on it. And then over a year or 2 years, she's going to know how to use it pretty well. Well, that's the way that businesses are right now with blockchain. They're like your grandma. No offense to your grandma. I love my grandma. She's like really the best. I love you, Granny.
'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings.
But, it's a barrier to entry because it's complicated. But all these businesses need is a good grandson or a good granddaughter to come show them how to use it, to put it in their hand and make it simple for them, to download all their apps for them, to show them how to use the text messaging app, to show them where their email is stored. And that's what Ontology is. Ontology is the good grandson that comes and helps his grandma out and shows her how to use blockchain. But not only that, but does most of it for her, gets all of her apps on there like I mentioned, and gets it running. So Ontology is trying to break that barrier down to make blockchain widely accessible, widely adopted. And that's why, my dad always told me, he's in the construction business, and he always told me, especially like when we were going through the crash in 2008 in the U.S. economy, he said, we will really know when the economy is coming back because truck sales is so crazy, right? Truck sales are an indicator when it goes up that the construction business is picking up. The construction business is an indicator of the housing market and supply and demand and who can buy houses. And you can find a direct correlation between, new construction and the economy. So you can kind of almost think of it like this, like Ontology as being someone who's being a company that's trying to break companies into blockchain. It's almost like those truck sales, right? The better Ontology does to try to cause mass adoption, the better crypto will do. So you would almost think that Ontology, and we've seen it, I know it's only been around for a short period of time, but we've seen it rising. It could be the kind of thing that is almost tethered to the success of crypto. So if you believe in the success of crypto, then you should believe in the success of Ontology. If blockchain becomes implemented everywhere and Ontology is a platform to do that, then you can bet your bottom dollar Ontology is going to rise. So I think that's kind of a cool dynamic about Ontology and what it's trying to do. But I hope this has been beneficial to you. I hope that this has helped you to understand what Ontology is, how it actually works. And you can take this, and when you buy this coin, this is not financial advice, but if you buy this coin, that you will now understand what you're buying and why you're buying it. So I just thought this was such a cool coin. Really glad to be able to talk to you guys about it today and explain the difference between N and Neo. I hope you enjoyed this simplified coin review, and we're going to be doing a lot more of these. Internet Services Token is the one we're going to be doing next, and then maybe OnChain. I think people are really into that. If you want to see us review a coin, drop it in the comments below, and we will do our best to investigate it and break it down so you understand it and you understand it simply. So this has been your Simplified Coin Review.